few problems with a few runners. Today, a 1-0 player is actually facing a 0-1 player, but roles are kind of reversed when you look at the seeds. But they're both ready to go. Very classic start between the two, obviously. You're starting in Brinstar and picking up the morph ball as your starting item. In famous Brinstar area for being such execution heavy right on in the run, Metroid Zero Mission is a game that heavily relies on movement and not that much on tricks that can save you multiple dozens of seconds. So it's really on the optimizations of your jump, of your tiny movement, that the difference is made between the good runners and the great runners. So I'm giving Eagle the advantage on this race if I have to make a few predictions, but Nick is definitely a capable runner into this race. As we can see, both are hitting the climb right away, and Nick definitely proving that he has the skill to back it up. Unfortunately, dropping a little wall jump here, but not too much troubles. Gets back really quickly. And both making it out without any too much troubles as they're heading back down to this lower portion of Brinstar to take their first missile pack. First missile pack out of 50 missile packs, since there are a total of 250 missiles, and we'll be collecting them all. All the super missile tanks, all the E-tanks, all the powerbomb tanks, and all the upgrades. Eagle about to face off against the Worm God. Actually got a double missile on the Worm, very well played. You can get 2 missiles in one frame, which allows you to kind of skip the cycle. Unfortunately, Nick kind of rossed up it. Nick, unfortunately, he had spikes, so he had to lose a lot of time waiting for the Worm to drop all of his spikes on him. And Eagle, he actually didn't wait for the drop since he actually got the double first round, so he's starting this room, the Hive room, with 1 less missile than most people would do, entering with 3 instead of 4, so a bit slower to kill the first Hive, but not too much trouble. It's definitely one of the hardest rooms in the game because it's just so early on and very tricky to get in really quickly, but no problems. 3 missiles and 2 beam on each Hive for Eagle, and makes it through without taking a victory lap, as Nick is about to start it on his own. So just to clarify a bit, why the lead is already so big between Nick and Eagle at such an early stage of the game is because Nick, not only because he actually didn't get the double and got spikes on the Worm, which is unlucky. Oh, Nick unfortunately taking a tumble there. He will have to go for an extra victory lap. Finishes up the Hive and gets through. Nick actually waited for the Worm God to drop the charge beam and picked it up early because it's a little route change that people actually adopted recently, which allows more comfortability due to the use of the charge beam and a few routes adjustments. But Eagle, this guy is an all-school runner. He doesn't go for this. He doesn't need any route adjustments. He just knows that he has the experience and he has the skill to back it up. No need for changes when you're already that good, and you just go straight and will end up picking up the charge beam later. Now picking up bombs. Both of these runners will now go to crate. Although this is the first route change that we'll see in the run, I think Eagle should go into this upper portion of Brinstar yet. He's doing double bomb jumping, and he's about to go for an infinite double bomb jump, dropping these bombs at the right timing, and then gets into the upper portion of Brinstar. So Eagle is doing what we call early Brinstar, which in this run, in the 100% completion category, there are 2 ways to clean Brinstar. You either do early Brinstar, which consists in cleaning up that upper portion of Brinstar right after getting bombs, as Eagle is doing, or you can do late Brinstar, which is cleaning up that upper portion after beating both primary bosses, who are respectively Kraid and Ridley. So after killing Ridley and you get back in Brinstar, you will clean that up. And this is the route that Nick will do, as he just doesn't take the same direction that Eagle, and we go straight towards Kraid. But Eagle, by doing this route, he's obviously behind at this point, but the 2 minutes that the routes when you just start are about 2 minutes different, but since you actually converge, in the end they're pretty equal, and the difficulties of early brain star, as you can see on Eagle's screen, are those infinite bomb jumps that can be quite tricky at some points. But both routes are kind of equal. The advantages of early brain star being that you will have an extra E-tank and I think 3 extra missile tank, which can allow you much more comfort when you will get into Crate, since in Crate we need a lot of missiles, which either relies on you healing at bombs, which is the fastest option, rather than healing at the first statue of the game, or praying for good drops, which is usually not the thing that we like to do. But considering Nick's ammo count, I think he healed. Yeah, I do remember he actually healed at bombs, which is a very conservative approach and a very good one, especially in a race. You really don't want to gamble all your chances on the RNG. But Nick will not have that extra E-tank and those extra 15 missiles that Eagle will have. Another diagonal followed up by a straight infinite bomb jump to get into this tunnel. Very well played from Eagle. These rippers on your path can really be annoying, especially if the pattern is very bad, but no troubles. Gets it on the first try as Nick actually makes his way into Crate without any kind of troubles. Cleaning up behind his save room is hidden a little missile tank. We'll see plenty more into this run. So now that Nick is in Crate, one of the things that can be very, very tricky in 100% is that we do not have the power grip yet, because the game casually wants us to get power grip to get into Crate and move around it. But in a Hondo, it is just way too long to get to the power grip area, so we just rely on good bomb jumps here from Nick. Oh, misses it a bit at the end, goes for the JBJ, very nice. We rely on all these wall jumps and all those bomb jumps to make our way through this area. Actually, Nick seems like he waited a bit to get a few missile drops, but nothing for him, unfortunately. The game tends to give you missile drops when you're at full health, so since he's not at 199 health, well, he gets less missile drops. And he's about to fight against the Acid Worm. And for that you want at least 30 missiles and a few more, since we want the Acid Worm to actually drop a few missiles at the end, because we'll need more for later. Acid Worm, very classic. You just dive into the acid and kill him from below. A very easy strategy and very fast as well. The acid is kind of a joke in this game. Doesn't deal a lot of damage, so you can just jump in and fire from below. Very, very bad luck on the side of Nick, as the worm actually dropped in only 1 missile. Optimally, you want to leave this area, like this room of the worm, with 10 missiles, since there are 2 gigantic side hoppers you want to kill, each of them taking 10 missiles to die. And since you actually pick up 2 extra missile tanks along the way, you should end up around 20, which is the amount of missiles that you want. But finishing up with only 2 and then only getting 1 drop, he will have to farm even more. While Eagle is already at 42 missiles, he will actually enter the fight with at least 41. So if Eagle, unfortunately dropping this wall jump there, makes it back using a few bomb jumps. If Eagle actually gets all his shots into the worm without any troubles, Nick deciding to go back to pick up a few more missiles, Eagle will not need RNG to be on his side. Even if he gets 0 missile drops from the worm, he will be fine, because he has all the missiles that he needs. Another diagonal bomb jumps for Nick. This one is very, very punishing if you actually miss it, because these blocks take a very long time to reform and you cannot get into the hole without using them as a platform. Oh, Eagle actually makes the acid rise up. Acid rise up. I think if you stay a bit too long on this platform, the acid can rise, which is obviously making you lose time, since you have to wait for the acid to go down again. Nick, as you guys can see, is actually having to shoot his classic beam because he didn't have all the missiles. that he needed to kill the side hopper, and this is one of the side effects of having bad RNG and not enough missiles. Oh yeah, that's true, Ross. Thank you for confirming. You have to wait a little bit indeed after the first cycle to make sure that the acid doesn't rise. Nick now entering what we refer to as the most boring room in the game, as the old strategy was just use these ball cannons, destroy these little speed booster block pillars, and then get onto the zipline. But now it's a bit more tricky. Nick will shot the zipline and try to grab it midair, gets it, drops a bomb. Oh, that was a very nice try from Nick. The idea was that dropping from the zipline allowed him to just drop a bomb midair, and then he would have jumped again and morphed midair to get what we call a JBJ, a bomb jump, and get into the zipline again as a morph ball. Fortunately, he morphed just a bit too late and didn't get the explosion. But no problems. He had the ball cannon anyway. So that was a very clean room overall from Nick, attempting the riffle glitch on that statue, not quite hitting it, and Eagle entering with 25 missiles, which is much more than enough. Gets rid of the first targeting side hopper, and gets rid of the second with 10 additional missiles, decides to take a hit, to throw in more swag and more pain, but he is through without any troubles. Nick doesn't look quite on... what's the word? It just evaded my mind for some reason. It doesn't look as good as he used to be for the JVJs, I'll put it this way. His movement looks good overall though, so... since Kraid is an area where JVJs are very, very used, when he will exit it, I think it will be a lot better, as his general movement feels a lot better. Now entering Kraid though, if he takes 50 missiles to die, actually very good demonstration from Eagle of the most boring group JVJ. And Nick, without any troubles, gets a very nice 2-cycle onto Kraid. An optimal way to kill him is actually to just shoot 2 missiles per jump into his mouth, as Kraid takes 15 missiles to kill. And noxiousnick just demonstrated without any troubles that he's very capable of dealing with that big thing. As Kraid doing his drama queen, like always, screaming into the void and just disappears in the big explosion. Allousing Nick. Allousing? Yeah, that's a combination of both the S and the ING. I am, you guys can tell, I'm an English speaker, don't worry. As Nick collects the speed booster now, and can go for those beautiful shine sparks. Eagle, very nice room. Oh, unfortunately, didn't quite get the double on that side hopper at the end. But while Nick is about to exit the Kraid area, Eagle is about to start his fight against Kraid. Let's see how Eagle does. Since Eagle is actually notorious for not being so good at Kraid because of his double factor. Okay, he actually gets a 3 round, but that was much better than what it could have been. Considering Eagle's situation, and he actually already got onto the latest stages of the Kraid cycles, Kraid could have just destroyed that middle platform, which would have been a very big problem for Eagle, but fortunately for him, manages to get the few last missiles he needed into his mouth on the third round very quickly, so good fight still overall from Eagle, and a very, very clean Kraid area overall. Nick attempting that JBJ, unfortunately not quite able to get them. He's just going to start again from the ground. No problems. JBJs are a thing that can be really useful at multiple points in the game. It's just that it is not a massive time save, but you can do them so many times that if you can skip like half a second to an entire second with a single JBJ and you can do it like 20 times in the run, well, it's very worth it. noxiousnick about to attempt the charge spark simply because of the fact that I actually got the charge beam early. He can just charge a shine spark into this room and store it again on multiple slopes and realize it there. Oh no! That is very unfortunate from Nick. He actually got it all the way through this room, but that's very, very unfortunate from Nick because when you unmorph, there's usually when you just stand still and press the jump button, you will do a shine spark. But if you press the jump button 4 frames at like between the first and 4th frame, you actually unmorph, Samus will just do a jump instead of shine sparking, which is a thing that we can exploit for a very hard trick in Criteria, but in that case, that was just Nick's demise. That was very unfortunate for him, because he actually did everything right. As Eagle is already back in Brinstar with very clean platforming, as he's hot on Nick's tail. Because of the fact that Eagle actually didn't pick up the charge beam earlier right after the Acid Warren's death, he will have to pick it up right now, and, by extension, doesn't have an attempt to the charge beam spark. While Nick, already in Criteria, picking up his second unknown item of the run, on his way to the upper portion of Criteria to pick up his very first super missile tank, by doing a huge shine spark change. A huge shine spark change that you can actually reduce to only 1 by using a very, very hard JBJ that I don't think Nick will attempt. No. Goes onto the pillar, shine sparks toward the left, stores it again, and then goes on the right to pick up his first super missile tank. And now picking up the best of items, the useful item, the power grip, which very simply just allows you to grab the side of the platforms, which is very, very convenient, but hey, they actually had to put an item to think about this idea, which is kind of dumb in some sense. Perfect demonstration of the infinite bomb jump from Nick as he actually gets out of this room before the tower actually rises entirely. Very good display of skill. Not waiting for the platforms to spawn from that raising statue actually allows you to save a few seconds, so it's definitely a worth trick. Otherwise, if he actually just dropped it, he would have needed to wall jump along the wall and just wait for the platforms to spawn, which would have costed him like 5 seconds or something, maybe less. Eagle goes for the same approach for the Criteria Super Missile, goes for the 2 Shine Spark, to the left, to the right, and then we'll go again to the left to get back towards the Power Grip. And it seemed like both actually did the same mistake as they just jumped on the spot. They actually just spin jumped into that block that was above their head. But no, not any troubles given. Nick actually going for a diagonal Shine Spark there, which is, I think, slower because you have to... It is faster on tasks, but Nick doesn't really care about being frame slower. He just wants to be cool, and he actually is, as he's going for New Fair. So Nick will go into the lower parts of North Fair early on, unlike most runners. The conventional strategy is just to get up to Ice Beam very early. Oh, Nick, that's a very crucial mistake. Very nice recovery, though, from the wall jump, as he, despite his mistake, is able to collect that Super Missile tank. Although he will have to reset the room anyway, since he will need to charge a Shine Spark. The idea is that, because of the fact that you do not have to visit a specific heated room, which are all over the places in Norfair, since it's obviously a very hot area, you kind of have like an extra E-tank to work with for lower Norfair, which, if you're a kind of beginner runner, allows you to just go for only 1 heal instead of 2 in Norfair. And if you're a very experienced runner and feel very comfortable, you can actually skip any heal in Norfair with only 4 E-tanks, which, on paper, is actually faster. without even including the infamous new fair spark that we could see Nick going for, although I don't really expect him to do so. As Eagle, you can see he's not going down. He will just go straight to the ice beam. Nick, fortunately dropping in the lava, which will cost him some time and also a lot of energy, but the point of New Fair is that indeed, as you guys can see, it just gives you so much more leeway and so much more security. Yeah, as he actually just exited that room with 101 health or something like that, which is that entire intake that I talked about earlier. If he would have gone for the like the early ice, if we can call it like this, it would have been much tighter for him. But Eagle is actually about to enter the Edit room I was talking about, the one that we skip and allows you... Just pay attention to Eagle's health. He enters with 59 on his health counter. Well, unfortunately, he's taking a few hits in this room, so it will be kind of incorrect, but I guess he will exit with around 20 or something like that, since he actually took a couple of hits and takes even more. But he actually lost 156 health in this room, so if Nick actually went for this, he would have just died straight into that very big hidden room in North Air, not having all the health that Eagle actually has. But Eagle, since he actually did early Brinstar, this is one of the advantages of early Brinstar too, is that you already have that extra E-tank to go with. Nick's extra E-tank is only theoretical, but since he actually just didn't go for the heated room, but Eagle's extra E-tank is very, very true, since he actually picked one more due to early Brinstar cleanup. This is also one of the most beautiful things about Hondo in this game, is that the 100% category offers so much route diversity, and all these routes are just not very far from each other. Usually it's only about a few seconds. Oh, very nice shine break from Eagle. I actually managed to store his spark. I think it's a 2-frame trick. Very cool from him. Nick picking up the wave beam, and Eagle picking up the high jump. He has 299 health, 91 health, which is more than enough for this room. If he actually didn't go for early Brinstar, he would be at only 191 health, which is enough, but very, very dangerous. As he would have exited this room with only 44 HP, but now he's at 144, no problem. Static rating just makes the deal. Nick getting rid of this very bad characters, gets that second one in one cycle, very nice from him. Let's see if he goes for the new fair spark. He actually sets it up. So he has to go for a shine break, which is again a 2-frame trick, and morphs a bit too early, and that's not the choice that you want to go for, noxiousnick. So this is where it gets tricky with New Fair, because it's a route deviation that allows you much more comfort when it comes to your health management, but you also have to be very careful and know what you have to do in what situation you're in. Since Nick actually didn't break any speed booster blocks that were below him, he should have taken that E-tank that was near high jump and then take the Volcannon instead of sparking up. That would have been faster, but maybe he was just unaware of this. So in the end, he will lose some time. Not so much though, but it's always so more seconds adding to the timer. When it comes to overall movement, I feel like both players are doing a really good job so far, so it is very, very pleasant to see. So the reason why Nick actually has to take the Ridley shortcut, we just call it this way because this is a shortcut that we actually use when we need to to enter relay in any percent. The reason of why he actually needs to take this is that there's a missile block that you cannot break from above. So it was very, very nice for him to go for this. It was actually his only option, otherwise he would have stored another speed booster from where he did early. Now has to fight against the cocoon, which is such a pain in 100%. But no problems. Gets the hives on the side, the vines on the sides rather. And is now entering Ridley. And Eagle, since he actually did like early ice and he doesn't have to go back up, so he can instantly just break the blocks straight away and go down to Ridley. While Nick, as you guys saw, right after cleaning up that lower portion of the repair, had to go back up through a Shine Spark. As they are both about to encounter the same boss, but in a different state, as Eagle makes his way towards the cocoon, and goes for the any percent strategy, 3 missiles on the left side, then 3 missiles and 3 missiles through wall jumps, freezing the Ripper on the side and gets 9 on the right side, while Nick fights the evolved version, the Imago B. You spam all of your supers and all of your missiles. And it's a very cool one cycle from Nick. No time loss, very clean. Good timing on the shots. You cannot really spam since there's a cooldown on your missiles. Oh, Nick, I don't think it's going to be enough. No, unfortunately, Nick wanted to actually keep that Shine Spark charge to really sit right where he is right now. Unfortunately, because of the fact that he missed his initial shot, he wasn't able to get down quick enough. So now in Ridley. Ridley is such a tough area in 100% because there are a lot of tricks that are based on the utilization of the speed booster. A lot of Shine Sparks, a lot of speed jumps, etc., which can be very, very hard to do at times. Eagle against the Magobi. One cycle, no problem. Nick about to enter the first puzzle room as he's about to do the very first glitch of the run, the Ice Clip. So by killing these two enemies on top of each other at the very same time, the game kinda acts in a weird way that just makes you respawn from the enemy's spawn position. Also, Eagle gets the charge and really sits right there. Perfect from Eagle as he gets the Imago Spark. So back to the Ice Clip. The game makes you respawn at the enemy spawn location, which happens to be just under the floor, but you can still clip through the blocks as it doesn't take into account your horizontal position. So you can just clip through without any troubles. Which is such a quality of life since we would need to charge a speed booster in the room that Nick is in right now. Eagle goes for the Ice Clip himself, no problems. Yeah, we would need to just charge a speed booster from where Nick was a second ago, which is very, very slow. That's actually one of the things I have no idea about Justin. The thing is that the orb that we kill, it doesn't have to be this specific orb. Apparently it has to be any orb in the room, from what I can remember. Your name is actually Nick. Well, that was very, very unintentional. Maybe I'm just a genius, I don't know, but who knows. Maybe a bit of both. So, apparently it can be any orb, it's just that this one is actually the closest one to us and on a route. But yeah, we have to kill a specific enemy, and if he drops something, get the drop. Which is something that I have no idea about, and I don't think most people do, to be honest. But yeah, that's a detail that is very, very important. Nick, without any troubles, got the second puzzle room and now entering the third. The speed jump, very nice jump from Nick. This one is only a 4-frame jump, and that's the only way to get this item. I also saw Eagle going for the Diagonal Spark, and I think Nick got it as well, which is kind of a hard thing to do, but both managing to get through these rooms without any too much troubles, as they are both having a very clean relay so far. Outside of Nick missing the Imago Spark, his relay has been pretty flawless so far. As is Eagle's. Eagle about to attempt the speed jump, breaks the missile, and gets it actually on the very last frame, judging by the positioning and the blocks. You can see on the bottom right of this corner, there's just no blocks left, which means that Eagle actually jumped on the very last frame he was available. Very good from Eagle. Yeah, Justin, that's one of the weird things, that if we actually just don't kill one enemy and get the drop, the glitch will just not work for some reason. I guess there's an obvious reason behind it about how the game behaves about the enemies, and which is actually the reason why you respawn underground, but I don't know the details about this. But yeah, that's a very important thing to think about. Nick, not having any troubles to clean up that fourth puzzle room, opts to wait a bit for that crumble block to respawn. Nice conservative approach as he gets out without any troubles, and he has all 10 super missiles that he needs. Eagle against the evil pillar room, gets the wall jump at the bottom of the pillar, very nice. This room is very, very punishing if you just drop that wall jump and drop at the bottom of the room without crossing to the other side, because you have to go back to get Shine Spark charge. Very nice early shot into the eye door from Nick, saves a second there. And yeah, you don't want to charge Shine Spark chains just because you missed a wall jump. It can be a very, very frustrating trick to miss. It's not even a trick, it's just a wall jump, but it's not really that hard to get it, but the timing is kind of tight, and it's just so punishing that it easily gets into your head when you miss it. I'm hearing a lot of noise, what's going on? Oh, it's just Ridley! Well, he's just dead. Well, it's not even a point to talk about. This guy has exactly 500 health. What am I saying? 1000 life points, since each super missile does 100 damage, and 10 super missiles is just what we need to kill Ridley, as Nick got great RNG on the Ridley drops as he gets 8 super missiles. 2, 2, 2, and 2. Very good RNG from his side. Always keep Speedway with 8 super missiles. Eagle starting the Ridley fight off his own. He doesn't have quite as much supers though, so we'll have to use a lot of regular missiles, but still makes it without any single trouble. Let's see how Eagle's RNG is. I really doubt it'll be better than Nick, but maybe the game can surprise me. He gets 4 super missiles, which is more than enough from Ridley. Optimally, you want 10 super missiles to get out of Ridley. Well, actually, you want 10 super missiles with the time you get out of Ridley, which you can get at multiple places. You can get them on Ridley, you can get in the room that Eagle was in a second ago that we call Speedway, because you kill all these enemies with a Speed Booster Spark. Well, a Speed Booster Charge, excuse me, you just run through them. Or on the 3 owls at the end of Ridley, which we'll see Eagle kill in a few seconds. Nick had to kill one of these owls to get a super missile, since he actually had 8 out of the 10 supers that he wants. Eagle going for jumpy, not too much troubles. You just jump straight up and freeze that enemy right below your feet. And Eagle is about to just kill these 3 owls. Let's see how RNG is. 2 out of 3, this is not what you want, but this is still average. These enemies have a 70% chance to drop you a super missile. So 2 out of 3 is kind of unlucky, since you should be able to get all 3 when it's 70% chance to get a super, but 2 out of 3 is still good, especially since he already had 4 on him. So 8 out of 10 supers from Ridley is not optimal, but that's still enough. Especially since none of them actually had to farm the Speedway. Nick gets his Shine Spark change and is about to do the Brinstar Super Missile. And I think he goes for a very nice strategy. Nice, Nick. Bombs the ground by keeping the Speed Booster ups, which allows him to just collect that missile tank while keeping his Spark charged, and then releases it at the end. This is the most optimal strategy, which saves only I think it's only a second save or something, but it is very, very cool and not that hard to get, I think. That's only my opinion though, as a lot of runners actually don't go for this strategy. But it's also very easy to just back it up if you just miss. Although missing the entire trick in itself is such a time loss. Eagle doesn't have to go for this strategy though, since he actually took that missile tank early into this little connector section. And here's where early Brinstar actually takes its effect from Eagle. They both killed the two primary bosses. They now go both towards Torian. And Eagle, he just goes straight to Longbeam, while Nick is just waiting in this very, boring areas, you can say them, waiting for the bugs to get onto the devices. You can see he's just shaking his head angrily, shaking my SMH onto these bug RNG. So if you guys thought that Eagle was behind, let me tell you, he's definitely ahead. As he will enter Torian, Nick would be on the very other side of Brinstar. Eagle with the sub 36 enter Torian, which is a good time. He's on a... Eagle can still turn this into a 110, although he will need very good gameplay for the rest of the run, but this is a very solid low 111 pace for Eagle so far. Nick is almost done with the Brinstar cleanup, only has to take one more missile tank and the Longbeam, and then he could proceed and go to Torian. Yeah, you're Tori, right? Don't breed Metroid, guys, because they will just end up killing you. As you guys saw, all these pirates, they're all dead. You guys breed Metroids, but you didn't think of the consequences. Eagle got a super missile drop. This is where a lot of RNG comes into play, and a lot of hate gets into this area as Metroids. So, each Metroid takes 5 missiles or 1 super missile to kill. Well, I will let you guys do the math. It's obviously faster to shoot 1 super missile than 5 missiles, right? So obviously you want a lot of super missile drops to go fast in Torian, excuse me. And well, all these super missile drops are just completely random. Don't worry, Nick, I will try to keep you updated. If you're actually listening, I've got you covered, my dude. Don't worry about that. Eagle with a lot of super missiles of his own. 3 or 4 times so far in Torian, which is very, very good. He will have to take a few breaks from the super missile factory, though. And there we go. Actually gets a super missile from the very Metroid. Torian is Zebesian for Salty RNG Factory. I've got to agree with you, especially 90%, but we're in Hondo. It's not too much of a troubles. Eagle done with the Metroids, while Nick is starting them on his own side. Eagle now killing those Zebetites. 7 missile per Zebetite, you can just spam away. And then against the tank, 2 supers because he can afford. And then 4 missiles followed by a super, 4 missiles followed by a super, 4 missiles followed by a super, and do it once again. And Mother Brain is dead. This is one of the key rules of Torian. You want at least 4 super missiles finishing Metroids, since this is the most optimal way to kill Mother Brain. And Eagle does it without any troubles. Very good escape so far, as Nick, actually having a few troubles in this area of Torian, gets a few super missile drops along the way though, so gets a bit of help from the gods of the RNG. We'll need it sometimes. Eagle on a very solid pace. He's at 135 exiting that area. 133.22 entering the ship, which is a solid time. 134 being the goddish time that I never got a 134. I don't know how people do this. Nick, some more super missile drops on his side. Takes the advantage of taking the Metroid all the way to the left to make that other one spawn and not lose any time. Very good heads-up play. There's a lot of kind of mind games that you have to think about when you're doing Metroids. Since Metroids actually take a few seconds to appear, if you have super missiles, you can just lose a bit of time by actually not killing one right away, by just triggering the other one spawning, which allows you to overall save time. The way I said it was very, very unclear, but if we need a takeaway, make your Metroid spawn as soon as possible, guys. Nick against MB's fight again. 4 missiles followed by a super. You do that 3 times and then you do it one last time, using only 3 missiles and 1 super, which is enough. But basically the pattern is this. 4-1, 4-1, 4-1, 3-1. The one at the end of each cycle being a super missile. And Nick is now escaping Torian on his own, while Eagle actually... Well, looks like the Galactical Federation was very, very angry about her blowing Meldabrain. Wait, what? It was not the Galactical Federation. Oh, it was the Space Pirates. Alright, my bad. Well, I'm sorry, guys. I guess I messed up a bit. Whoops. No, I don't like plots. I don't really think of this. No, just kidding. Eagle skips the map. Very good. Alright, is Eagle going to heal? Yes, he is! Alright, thank you, Eagle. Alright, so just let me set this up. On the first round of the Swiss system, Eagle actually lost his race against Crunchy Legs because he didn't heal at this point in Suitless, since in Suitless, you start that section with only 99 health. As you guys saw, despite the fact that Eagle collected his 9 E-tanks for the run, you will start that section with only 99 health anyway. Alright, give me a second. He actually triggers this arm intentionally, so there's a new strategy discovered recently that allows you to save 1 second overall on the 3.1 skip, wire skip. And as you guys saw, he actually manipulated the behavior of these 2 pirates, so these guys could just shoot each other, which will eventually turn off the alarm. Yeah, think about it. If these guys are the only one who know that Samus is in the base, well, if they die, no one else knows, so the alarm turns off. Cosmic Brain plays from Eagle. This strategy being 1 second faster than the older tripwire skip. So, as I said earlier, despite the fact that you start with you only start with 99 health, as you guys can see on Nick's screen, he only has 99 health. And because of that, Eagle just didn't go for the refill earlier in his race against Crunchy Legs. Very nice fast slice from Eagle, crouching under it. Alright, Nick said crap in the chat. I'm calling it Nick gets the map. Are you guys ready? Alright, Nick, show us what you're made of. There we go, I called it. That's the map of shame. You will not get lost, Nick. That's the only thing I have to say. Obviously, collecting the map is slower, guys, in case you were wondering. So back to my story again. Since Eagle actually didn't heal in Suitless in his last race, he was one shot for the entirety of the Suitless section, since each pirate deals 100 damage. So if you take a hit, you're dead, and Eagle took a hit from one of the pirates at the very, very last interaction in Suitless, which was very, very unfortunate, but yeah, that's one of the problems. Nick going for the standard strategy of the tripwire skip. Very nice wall jump over that laser. But it looks like the old man is the one who knows the strategy and who is on point with the most recent use, as Eagle went for the pirate team kill and not Nick, but it's only about a second, so no problems for Nick to go for the tripwire skip. If he actually is used to it, it's much better to go for a strategy that is 1 second slower, but you're more comfortable on. Since they both healed, they have to take 10 hits instead of 1 to die, so I'm not expecting any of them to die, to be completely honest. Shoutouts to world record holder C Scotty W in the chat for getting the map of the ship in the very first 108. Eagle making his way through the rooms with a lot of success, getting the stun on these pirates without any troubles, not stopping for a frame. Nick triggers the alarm there, but you will not lose time at all in this position, since there's no barrier to just block you. You can just go into this shortcut, and then the alarm is again turned off. As Eagle, this is the room where he died last time, so Eagle is about to do what we have, like, right here. 4 or 5 wall jumps in a row, and last time he actually dropped this wall jump. And when you just fall down at the very bottom after these wall jumps that you dropped, well, there are 4 to 5 pirates waiting to just eat you alive. Well, if you only have 99 health, I don't think I need to draw you something to let you guess what will happen. Yeah, you got tripwire skip, Eagle. Very good. Nick about to attempt the Sam strat. He froze that pirate entering the doorway and destroyed these blocks on a very precise timing. It looks like he actually missed his timing on the frozen pirate, so the alarm will be activated for a very long time, which will make him lose a few seconds. Eagle about to start his fight against the Chozo Ghost Charlie, waiting for the glyph to appear, and gets the shot. So Charlie is just entirely RNG based, and that was not a good RNG for the first cycle from Eagle. Much better second cycle. As you guys can see, every single time Eagle gets a shot, he actually shots himself right back, because oh, that was very unfortunate. That was very, very fast fourth cycle from Eagle. Unfortunately, he just misses the shot. Misses another one by just a few pixels. Gets the shot in the end. They can actually damage boost themselves in a way, because on average, this mirror will shine 1 second earlier on average if you actually damage boost yourself. Which, in this situation, is not a problem, because they have so much health. But obviously in a 100% run, where you're on PB pace and don't go for the heal, because of the fact you only have 99 health and you take 50 damages from Charlie, well, you can only do it once, which leaves you 1 shot for the last cycle, which can be very dangerous and cause many runs to end. But now, Eagle has his suit back, he has everything evolved. The plasma beam getting through the pirates without a single trouble, jumping, infinite jumping with the space jump, and then he can go underwater, under lava, he can do whatever he wants into any kind of liquid with the gravity suit. Sets it up now for the Charlie E-Tank, gets that first super missile tank behind the wall, then conserves his shine spark all the way to the top of the previous room. Gets the Fury charge along the way, collects the missile tank into the tunnel, exits it again, charges the shine spark back, and gets down to get the Charlie E-Tank. This trick is one of the hardest of the category in my opinion, and also one of the most punishing, because if you miss it at the very end, it is around 25 seconds lost, which is a lot. There are very few tricks that are punishing like this in Hondo, but this one is really a jerk. Nick, meanwhile, he's actually having a pretty good fight overall on Charlie as far as I'm concerned. Wow! Charlie just died in the exact spot where he was supposed to drop that 4th symbol from Nick. Very good Charlie, very good RNG from him. And very good manipulation of the boss as well. Props to Nick for getting such a good showing for the Charlie fight. So now Eagle's plan is just to get back towards the very top of the Space Pirates mothership to get the power bombs. noxiousnick, though, about to attempt the Charlie E-Tank, gets all the way to the top without a single recharge. Gets through the tunnel with conserving his speed all the way through, and gets one last recharge. And Shine Sparks right into the wall to get out of there. From the ruins, to the outside, to the inside of the ship. And gets another Shine Spark chain. From the ship to the outside, back into the ruins again. So now that we're completely busted with the screw attack, the plasma beam, we don't need to worry about pirates too much, although not taking a single hit is usually a good thing because we will have to heal later on, and obviously the more health you have to heal, the more time it takes, so the less hits you take, the better it is. Now Eagle, though, about to take the power bomb, I don't think he goes for it, no. So Eagle will not go for the latest route that has been improved, I'll put it this way, which is using the door clip. What Eagle could have done there is using a frozen pirate to get through that first powerbomb door, to save a powerbomb and clean the bottom portion of the ship early, which overall is around 3 seconds slower compared to the faster strategy. But it's much more consistent since the faster strategy relies on the very harsh Shine Spark chains, referred as Mingly, that we will see him doing a bit later. Which means that he will actually get out of the ship before cleaning the lower portion of it, so he will do it right at the end. Some more yellow doors that you can only open with these power bombs. Power bombs not being required at all to finish the game. Their only purpose is to get more items and more power bombs. There are a few shortcuts that are definitely helpful that you can destroy with the power bombs, especially towards the end of the game. We saw Eagle using one a bit earlier in that zigzag room. But overall, power bombs are technically useless. Also, one of the things that I should talk about, Eagle will heal right here, and since he only took 74 damage, well, he will now need to wait some more time for his health to get back. One of the things that I should talk about is that runners did not pick up Vario's suit when they cleaned up that upper portion of Brinstar, simply because when you kill Charlie, the game will give you Vario's suit for free anyway, since you pick up the gravity suit from killing Charlie, so this is why we don't pick it up. Alright, I have two things to cover. I'll focus on Nick, and yeah, Nick does the ice clip, sets his position, and then crouches into the frozen hitbox of a pirate to get through the door. Meanwhile, Eagle goes for the glass tube, gets his Shine Spark, the diagonal to set his positioning, and gets the E-Tank into the glass tube. I'll explain some more about the glass tube later since Nick will do it, but what Nick did was that he actually got through that powerbomb door without using a powerbomb, using a frozen pirate, so he has one extra powerbomb compared to Eagle. Eagle wants a powerbomb from there, and there's around I think a 12% chance to get one powerbomb if you kill all these enemies in this room, but unfortunately did not get any. Didn't get one. So Nick, now that he has that extra powerbomb, he will be able to clean up the lower portion of the ship earlier. which, as I said, will allow him to not go for a very hard Shine Spark change that Eagle will have to go for since he doesn't have that extra power bomb that I was talking about earlier. So Eagle, he has to drop down in the water at this point to get his Shine Spark chain ready. This is where it all starts. You pick up that missile tank, another recharge. You get through this door, another recharge on a very, very tight slope right here, and we'll see he goes for the very fast approach. He runs there and gets a ball spark to the left. Perfect from Eagle. Very good execution. Now he has to continue on. That was the hardest point of the trick. Gets towards the left, destroys the blocks that lead him to Torian, gets another one onto this block, and then does a diagonal bomb spark. Bomb spark? Yeah. We're just doing spark with bombs here. Ball spark to get that power bomb tank, simply referred as the... what is it called? I cannot get... dude, I can't remember from the top of my head. The landing site power bomb. Very good from Eagle. But the point of this trick was what Eagle did in the middle. Right after he got out of the water, you guys saw him Shine Spark through the door, and he actually recharged his spark on a very, very tight slope. The thing is that there are two blocks that block you from running straight away. You would just bonk and stop your chain if you actually run into these things. And since these are power bomb blocks, Eagle does not have that extra power bomb. He needs those 4 power bombs. He needs them. He cannot use them. So he actually needed to recharge his spark on the very slow slopes that he had. There are 2 of them. One on the right, one on the left. And Eagle decided to go for what we call fast Mingli. Mingli being the friendly name that we call for this spark. He went for fast Mingli and got it without a single trouble. He only recharged his spark once, which is a very, very difficult thing to do because there's a lot of distance that you have to cover. And yeah, perfect execution from Eagle, which this route that Eagle uses, using fast Mingli, is technically 3 seconds faster than Nick's route. And he nails it perfectly. So Nick starts the glass tube, drops a power bomb at the very top of the glass tube, and gets a Shine Spark charge inside. That was his only chance. The glass tube will not respawn. Gets down, drops a power bomb to break the wall. Very nice from Nick. He dropped the power bomb to destroy the power bomb block that were ahead of him. And then instead of doing a Shine Spark, he does a space boost, which is the most optimal strategy, but also the hardest one. But very, very well played from Nick to land that trick. Very punishing to miss, since the glass tube will not respawn. You will have to go for the conventional strategy, which is just to, well, you Shine Spark from below, and if you do a Shine Spark up from below, you will get back straight into the glass tube. But by using a diagonal Shine Spark like Eagle did, or using a space boost like Nick did, you can just get that E-Tank without being back into the glass tube since you lost your Shine Spark ability, which saves a lot of time. So well played from both runners to land this rig with perfection. That was a lot to cover, and we're not even done yet, since Eagle is actually back into crate to clean up the few more items that he needs to. While Nick, he actually has that extra power bomb, so we're back to criteria again. Nick can go for the space boost since he doesn't need to charge his Shine Spark much earlier compared to Eagle. The thing that Nick will do is that he has 2. Or what happens right now is that he will drop a power bomb right here, which will destroy these 2 blocks, and he can run without any troubles there. That was the thing that Eagle couldn't do. He had to recharge on the slope, but Nick can just run straight through, which removes a lot of danger from you missing the trick and losing a lot of time. This is where the door clip route allows you a lot of comfort. So very well played from the both of them, as they both got the landing site power bomb without missing a bit. They're both, I don't really know about their pace. Sing from Nick's timer is obviously behind his PB, but I feel like he's not doing that bad of a job so far. Eagle, I guess he's going to go, oh, Eagle, come on. Yeah, I mean, he's the old guy. He goes for the old strategies, just Shine Spark through. there's an alternative that you can do. You can do a spaced boost. Instead of just doing a Shine Spark, you can space boost your way through this room, which is, honestly, I will say it's not worth it. It's only around a second, and it's much harder since you have to get through the door. So, oh well. It's really personal preferences, I guess. Nick doing a space boost through Torian to get that missile tank without any troubles. Lands it. And now he's out of Torian again. Eagle, you have to get out of this hole, my friend. There we go. Conserves another Shine Spark and gets through the room. I hope we'll see Nick going for the space boost though, so you guys can see both strategies. Again, that's one of the most beautiful things about the 100% is that there are so many different routes, so many different strategies that are all so cool and not even that different when it comes to the timer. Alright, since Eagle is actually approaching the missile that Nick didn't pick up due to the fact that he actually missed his route a bit with New Fair. Nick, if you're listening, don't forget to get that missile tank near high jump that you didn't pick up. Now that Eagle almost has everything he wanted into that lower portion of Norfair, he only has to get one last missile tank, and he will be done with this area. The tutorial Bolt Spark that the game directly shows you on the start game screen saves a lot of time. It would just be such a waste to not go for it. Meanwhile, Nick cleaning up crate on his own side. Only 3 items to pick up in the crate cleanup. Very good space boost from Eagle. Went through this entire room as a space booster. Space booster criminal. Eagle is on a very, very solid pace. Well, actually, since he needs... well, it's still a very solid pace. Yeah, this is still very good from Eagle. Nick, he has ended his crate cleanup. He's now back in Norfair to finish, while Eagle needs to pick up the last missile tank of the game. Just like the Criteria Super that we picked up earlier, we just do a Shine Spark there, conserve the chain, drop a Power Bomb to open that yellow door above us, and do a Bolt Spark into this tunnel to pick up the last missile tank of the game. 250 missiles for Eagle. Objective completed. You have all of your missiles, sir. Nick, meanwhile, picking up some more missile tanks and power bomb tanks into that lower portion of Norfair that is only cleanable after the suitless section, since you need gravity suit to get through. Now Nick, let's see if he goes for the space boost for that very right side of Norfair. And he goes for it. Space boost through the door, and then gets to the top of the room, and at this point you just smash A. Keep jumping and hit the ceiling, and you get through cleanly. Which is, as I said, a bit faster, but it's also much more risky. But it's a bit faster and it's much cooler, so why not going for it, dude? You're on camera. You don't need to scream for mom to get the camera, you're already there. I think you will do it on the way back as well. It's much easier to do it on the way back since you don't need... Oh well, alright, this is where I'm surprised, since on the way back, the hardest thing about this space boost is actually get through the door, which you only have to do on the way on. So I'm kind of surprised to not see Nick going for it on the way back, but oh well. Again, personal choices, I guess. As Eagle went back through the entire section of the Chozo runes as he needs to pick up that one item. The out-of-the-way power bomb. Hello, power bomb, why were you so far away? You guys might wonder why I didn't pick it up early. Well, the thing is that after we beat Charlie, there are multiple walls that appear in this rune section that are made of power bomb blocks, and since power bombs are just completely out of the way, we need to go through a lot of the ship and then go back through the runes to get these power bombs. The fastest option being to clean up everything, and since we actually get back into the runes from Criteria after cleaning it up, well, it's faster to pick it up now, but it is still very much out of the way. Indeed, Pulse, that's a very good point. Since on the way on, when you do a Shine Spark, you have to just crouch much earlier and then walk all the way to the other side of the room, while in Space Boost, well, you're already in a Speed Boost mode. But yes, on the way back, it only saves around a quarter to half a second, since technically Shine Sparking is a bit faster than Space Boosting, but it's only by like a very, very small margin, to a point that it is relevant only in this room where we saw Eagle going for a Shine Spark and Nick going for a Space Boost. But technically speaking, a Shine Spark is just a bit faster than a Space Boost. But that is only for your information. Eagle doesn't have a lot to do now. He only has to clean that bottom portion of the ship that Nick already did, since he did a different route than Eagle, but no problems for Eagle. Is very, very much in the lead at this point, looking at his solid 111 pace. Nick, on his side, gets back into the runes, drops some more power bombs, more destructions. They are runes, like they earn their names. It's old, it's broken, you can see broken pillars in the background, and the only thing that you do is drop nuclear bombs in the middle of it. Not sure if that's the best way to actually keep the history of your people intact, Samus. Oh well, I guess she knows better. She is the Prime Hunter, I am not. I'm just a guy in my bedroom commentating some great ZM races. Cheeky Space Boost there from Eagle, I like to see it. Actually, I'm stupid. No, it's not cheeky. It's not mandatory, but it is it's normal to do it in this route. And as you guys can see, Eagle, 0 power bombs. You could not afford to use one more power bomb. You cannot afford to go for some cheeky power bomb drops everywhere like you drop your infinite classic bombs, because you need these power bombs, and yeah, healing is always slow, so don't drop your power bombs everywhere, keep them, and you will be a very fast flying machine. As the Danish bird is making his way towards the end of the game, he only has one more item to pick up. One last E-Tank. The most famous of all. But we'll get there in time, in a minute or so, while Nick is picking up the out-of-the-way power bombs. Good use of the power bomb from Eagle there to destroy all of these bomb blocks along the way, which saves a lot of time, obviously. He can afford to do that. At this point, he only needs one more power bomb, and he doesn't necessarily need it. He doesn't need it to finish the game, but he needs it for, like, quick options. You can open a shortcut. You can see the entrance of this tunnel that has a bit of a broken block. Well, Eagle just dropped his power bomb right here, which will allow him to open that path for later during the escape. And Eagle now is about to do the space jump E-Tank. Break these blocks, and now he has to space jump between these tripwires. Very precise jumps. You don't have to go. You cannot go too high. You cannot go too down, too below, too deep. I don't know how to say it. You cannot go down. You cannot go up. You just have to make it in between these two lines, and he makes it without a single trouble. Eagle is just flying towards the end of the game. Very clean execution. Entering now the Mecha Ridley fight. So specificities about Mecha Ridley, outside of the fact that he's just a robotic version of Ridley, if you have 100%, his health will be tripled and he will do double damage. which is very good confirmation to see if you already have 100%. And Eagle definitely has 100% of the items. Unfortunately, he takes quite a lot of supers, but good fight from Eagle. He still has 3 more. He still has 3 more supers, which are not needed, but oh well. Some more, and beep, 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 Eagle, you better run. Eagle on a very, very solid 1:11 pace. So he is past his PB of Eagle being 1 hour, 10 minutes, and 13 seconds, I think? 13 or 14, I can't even remember. I can't even remember. Even I, when I'm doing speedruns, and I'm like, am I on Eagle pace? I can't remember if it's 13 or 14. Oh well, doesn't make too much importance right now. This is past this point, but in a race, any 1:11 time from him, since he doesn't play a lot of the game recently, like, he doesn't play the game at all anymore to go for, like, world records or stuff. He just goes for races. The fact that he's able to just keep such a consistent level on the game is very impressive. Oh, he actually went for the shine break, but missed. He actually didn't crouch. We have a little setup where we can just destroy that speed booster block and crouch. Didn't get it, unfortunately. Keeps his recharge and gets all to the top of the room and gets a ball spark. Nah, Polesmore, it's definitely a 1:11. It will definitely be a 1 ring. He's already in Black Pirate's room. Meanwhile, Nick goes for the space jump E-tank and gets it without any troubles. Very well played from Nick, from noxiousnick. But his success will quickly be overshadowed by Eagle's victory, as is our winner today with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 33 seconds. GG to Eagle, as is our winner today. The experience talked, and he is the one that takes the W away from noxiousnick. Meanwhile, Nick fighting against Mecha Ridley. Good super shots early on. My God! Nick! That was sick! Someone clipped that! Dude, that was an amazing fight. That was the most perfect fight you could ever see from Mecha Ridley. That was incredible! I thought Eagle's victory would just overshadow what Nick did, but oh my goodness! Holy dang, dude, I'm hyped now. Let's go, Nick. He's on the escape. One more trick to go. Dude, wow! I am impressed. The timing was on absolute perfection. Nick was spamming his super in such a beautiful way. Obviously, there's a bit of RNG that makes Mecha's patterns change a bit, because he can shot missiles, he can swipe, but there's also a lot that depends from the runner and on your timing between your jump and your super missiles. And Nick got one of the most perfect, if not the most perfect mecha fight I've ever seen, dude. That was crazy. Gets the shine break using the setup. Oh no, Nick! No! Oh no! He actually did a diagonal shine spark through the door. Oh no, that was very unfortunate. He got everything he wanted, but he wanted to go for an horizontal shine spark to the right and not for a diagonal spark. That will cost him the 113, but Nick, let me tell you something, my dude. With that, oh my god. Yeah, that mecha, that will stay in my mind, and dude, I am such a happy man right now, as he is about to kill these 2 Black Pirates. They're not a danger, you just spam your missiles. No, these are regular shots, but powerful plasma beam shots. As Nick finishes his race in second with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 14 minutes, and 5 seconds. GG to noxiousnick. These 2 guys went for a beautiful run, and that was amazing to see. God damn it, I'm excited. That was great from both players. Despite that little fail from noxiousnick at the end, I think he can be very proud of his time. That was a very, very good performance from the both of them. As we are now joined by noxiousnick. Hey, Nick.
Hey.
How are you doing? That was How do you feel about your run overall?
Kraid was rough, but I'm feeling really good about that ending.
Yeah, that was yeah. So let's remember a bit what happened in Kraid. You got very bad RNG from the Worm and the side hoppers, so you lost a lot of time on them. But overall, the section and the boss fight itself was good. So yeah, but overall the area was kind of tricky. But the rest of the run looked clean enough for me. Clean enough. Sorry.
Yeah, I think aside from a mistake or two, I was more or less on pace with my PB for most of the run, so I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, a bit of unfortunately from the diagonal shine spark that you got at the end, it might have been a bit of a fail, I guess, probably a misstep or something. Right after the shine break.
I was listening to the race and I was getting hype while you were getting hype, and I hit all the buttons, so it happens.
Dude, that Mecha Ridley was the most beautiful fight I've ever seen in my life against this boss. That got me screaming, and let me tell you, to make me scream on commentary, it's hard.
Oh, good. I'm glad my 114 could still drum up some hype.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, even the 114, like that's what is your PB again? So it's in the 113s, but
113, 20 something.
I mean, you're around 40 seconds away from your PB, so I guess it's around your average, I would say. Do you have an idea of your time on live split?
Yeah, I've been averaging high 113s or low 114s in my practice, so it's
yeah, so doing quite a good job keeping that consistency high. So yeah, that's good to see, and obviously with all the rough times that you had through this run, it means that you can do so much better. So I cannot wait to see what's ahead. But yeah, that was a great race. You put on such a good fight. That was beautiful to see, and I think I will not talk about it enough. But that mecha, just period, mecha Ridley from noxiousnick.
The one other thing I remember is I wasn't planning on going for Northfair Space Boost, but I heard you asking for it, and I was already behind, so I wanted to show it off.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I get it about half the time, so
okay.
It was a risk for me.
Yo, well, you clutched it. There we go. That's hey, 50-50. That's a 50-50 matchup, and you won it. Good job. But yeah, overall, very, very cool. You guys both played lights out. That was very, very nice to see. Let's see if we can get Eagle Face for an interview. We'll see about that. I don't really think so, since he didn't answer. Alright, so it seems like we will not get an interview with Eagle this time around, but again, congratulations to you, Eagle. 1:11:33 on official SRM time and 1:11:32 on your live split time. Very good run. On average, I feel like you can be very happy with this run. That was very, very nice. Sub 51 in-game time, as you, Nick, get a good 53:05 as an in-game time, so good as well. On the both of you, that was a congratulations to the both of you. You guys definitely made this show tonight. So thank you.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so I guess for this race we're pretty much done. I'll get through the mandatory things. So if you guys want more Metroid Zero Mission from the MZM 1% tournament, I'll get you through the next races that we'll have. So on Tuesday at 3 p.m. EDT, there will be my race against CrunchyLex himself. Again, on Tuesday at 3 p.m. EDT. There will be another race on Wednesday the 19th at 6 p.m. EDT between Monkey and Sambi and John and Phil. And then on Saturday, so we'll still have a lot of time ahead of us, between Whalerinth and Paulsmore on Saturday at 1 p.m. EDT. So if you guys want to look for more MZM races, I think there's a command in chat if you guys want to see about this, or yeah, just don't hesitate to tune in on all these runs, since there will be plenty of them. There will be very, very nice to watch, plenty of hype. So, and if you guys are actually interested in running the game, don't hesitate to just join the Discord and stuff, because we'll always be there to help you if needed. It's always nice to see new faces showing. So, yeah, don't hesitate. Drop into the Discord. Just you can go on speedrun.com/nzm. You will be able to find the Discord on speedrun.com site. So yeah, that was very, very, very cool. So now about what is coming up to speed gaming. Let me check the schedule real quick. As again, the next ZM race will be in 2 days. But meanwhile, on speed gaming, so what hour are we? We have a lot of actions. On speed gaming 1, we have Assault Android Cactus going on. While on Metroid 3, yes, on Speed Gaming 3, looks like the Star Wars episode Racer Race. So it's like a double race. Oh, that's a race of a race. That's original. Is already going on and started I think a few minutes away. Well, actually around a half an hour away. So you guys can still tune in. You still have 1 hour to catch with. And on Speed Gaming 5, you have some Metroid and plus a Link to the Past randomizer combo going on. So plenty of actions all the way on Speed Gaming. So make your choice. Speed Gaming, twitch.tv/Speed Gaming, followed by a 2, by a 3, by a 4, by a 5. Pick your number, pick your game. Check Speed Gaming schedule if you guys want more speedrun action. As it looks like it is the end for us for today. Maybe Nick has a few more words to give, if you do, obviously.
Thanks for the race.
Well, thank you for putting such a good race. And it is done for us, so thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you for being here and cheering for the runners. See you next time, guys.